Thousands of people, many wearing protective masks, have packed Victoria Square in Adelaide, along with mass gatherings wrapping up across the country today, after large crowds called for an end to Aboriginal deaths in custody, defying strict government warnings to stay home. Rally organisers in Sydney won a last-minute appeal to overturn a Supreme Court decision banning the Black Lives Matter march. We have reporters standing by in key locations now. Let's firstly go to Charlotte Mortlock in Sydney. She's at Town Hall. Now, Charlotte, tell us what's been happening there today.
Yeah, Lou, we're actually down at Central Station now. It's just started to get a little heated here in the last few hours. You can actually see the police are pushing onto the protesters here. They're obviously trying to clear out what has been left of the crowd. It was reported that there was around 12,000 people at the protest today in Sydney's CBD, and the official protest finished at around 5 p.m. So just in the past hour, they've just got a few people that are remaining, and this is what police are doing now, trying to push them out and get rid of these people so they can reopen the city. Obviously, Eddy Avenue, which is adjacent to the train station here, has just been reopened as well. So they are trying to get the city back up and running after what's been a very busy few hours here in the CBD. There was thousands of people coming out in solidarity, not only with the George Floyd case in the United States, but they are calling here today for justice for indigenous Australians. They want no more black deaths in custody. And obviously you can see here tensions are still pretty high, but this is just a handful of what is left of this protest. Certainly today it had been a very peaceful protest prior to this, and even now they're not really fighting or anything. It's just a little bit of pushback from most of the protesters who are just refusing to leave at the moment. I did speak to a few of the protesters earlier today though, and as you can see, police are just now pushing forward on the last of these protesters here at Central Station, and we're just at the bottom or the entry to the station here. So they're just working through the last of this crowd and trying to ensure that they can reopen this to the public. Sounds pretty loud and pretty wild at the moment, but as I said, it has been a peaceful protest. Here's a few of the protesters we spoke to earlier today.
Well, I just want to show solidarity for all the African Americans, Black community, Aboriginal community here, because they are treated differently. It's a matter of fact. So I just want to show that I'm supporting them, that it's not okay. And I just want to raise my voice, show my presence here, that we want equality. We want for racism to end, systemic injustice to end, and it has to start with the police.
People are dying, mostly black people, in this situation where the system's failing us, and we're here to do something about it.
The atmosphere's been amazing, but to tell you the truth, we can't see the turnout because we've just been in such big crowds that when we look around, we've just got people and signs.
Obviously, you can see behind me, they are still trying to get rid of these last protesters that have really conglomerated here at the Central Station in Sydney. A lot of them are refusing to leave, so that is why it's certainly getting a little bit louder behind me. At this stage, we still don't think that it has turned violent, but that will really be a test for the next few minutes to see exactly what happens. Of course, this has been a testing time for this protest amid a pandemic. A lot of the people out here today were wearing face masks, and also hand sanitizer was being handed out by the organisers of this event. It was near impossible, or actually impossible, to adhere to the 1.5 metre social distancing that is currently the advice from the authorities at the moment, and that's because there were simply too many people here. An interesting thing as well is that we obviously had this ruled as an illegal or unlawful event by the Supreme Court Justice. That was handed down on Friday. And it was just 10 minutes before this event started today that the organisers got the green light after winning their appeal at the New South Wales Court of Appeals.
So breaking news live now from the Supreme Court. The people can march! Yeah!
So we're just having more and more police coming in here at the moment at Central Station. We've also got a number of police on horses as well. They're doing their best to try and clear this out. But as you can see, it is really getting quite thick in there with the amount of police officers that we have. There's still a number of people that are holding up their signs, doing a last call to justice for what they say has been racial discrimination. There have been more than 400 deaths in custody, Indigenous deaths in custody, I should say, since the 1991 Royal Commission. And they're just moving forward again now, trying to get these people out still. We're getting a little bit of pushback still from a number of the protesters. But of course, mainly this has been a peaceful event. Authorities and politicians all alike really came out saying that they didn't want this to go ahead. And that is because of this pandemic that we are in the midst of. But a lot of them are saying that this simply couldn't wait any longer.